What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 40 of our Cincinnati Bengals franchise, and in today's episode we are going to be doing the entire off-season in one sitting. Yes, thank God, right? We're going to get right through this thing and we're going to head right into the draft on Sunday. So no live stream. I actually wanted to play around with the idea of live streaming it, but I will be busy. Kind of played around with it in my head, thinking like maybe I might have some time for it, but I know that those streams usually go for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And, you know, we want to be able to hit the draft perfectly, right? We want to do everything optimally. And knowing that that's going to take some time, I couldn't fit it in, guys. I really hated it. I really wanted to actually do a live stream for the draft, and it just wasn't going to happen. So, all right, we're going to be going through the Super Bowl. We're going to simulate the result, see who won. It's either going to be the Chargers or the Saints. We've already taken a quick look in the last episode of the Pro Bowl roster. So I'm just going to go ahead and advance the week. But before I do that, I do want to give you guys kind of an end of season type of analysis here on how I thought the season went. So we are well aware by now that Andy Dalton is probably not going to be the guy that's going to push us over the top. It just hasn't been working, guys. He had a really good season this year. I thought that the offensive line being remodeled in our own vision really helped his numbers. It really helped John Ross. I know that for a fact, kind of utilizing his speed a little bit, trying to get him going a little bit faster. You know, the Jake Fisher experiment at right tackle wasn't working, so we brought in Nate Solder, Clint Bowling at left guard, and then Luke Joeckel at left guard, Bowling at right guard. It was just not a very good offensive line. Joe Mixon's numbers suffered last season. Bernard's numbers were not very good. We were not a good running the football team. And then we revamped the offensive line, and the offense kind of got better, right? A lot of progression happened this season, and it showed. You know, the defense was obviously the best part of our team last year. It's the best part of our team this year, and you guys saw it in the AFC Championship game. I mean, the offense kind of took a step back, but the defense played good enough to win that football game and get to the Super Bowl against the New Orleans Saints. We just didn't get it done, and it sucks. It sucks, and I think it's mostly due just to the fact that Andy Dalton just doesn't have the it factor. So let's go ahead and advance the week. Go to the Super Bowl. We'll simulate past that, and then we're going to be getting right into the re-signing period, and then see how much funds that we have available to spend, guys, because like we were talking about in a couple weeks prior to the playoffs, is that we didn't know how much money we were going to get after the end of the season where we were playing at home, right? We just had no idea. We weren't going to be able to know if we were actually going to be able to re-sign AJ Green with the signing bonus that he was asking for. But you guys can look in the top right. We got $33.5 million to spend in this re-sign period. That's a beautiful situation to be in, guys, because that guarantees that we're going to be able to sign AJ Green. We signed William Jackson here in the middle of the season, so we're going to get two of our best players, and I couldn't be happier for it. So, all right, getting into this draft class, we got 329 scouting points left to go. And I'm looking at defensive tackle. I'm looking at some defensive linemen in this draft class right here, because if we really think about it, guys, we've done everything that we can do with strong safety. I mean, we really don't need one. If I'm going to, like I said in previous episodes, if I'm going to draft anybody at strong safety, I'm going to draft you guys, right? Colin Hopkins, Trey Weddle, Sonata. I'm going to end up drafting you guys for like depth purposes, right? But free safety, I mean, we've got Jesse Bates. I know that Jaquan Johnson can play both free safety and strong safety, so we don't really need another free safety. So that's really not high priority on my board here. Cornerback, we can probably use another corner. It's kind of weird for me saying that too, because we did draft Kendall Sheffield, but it's becoming obvious that he's kind of getting exposed right now, being a young rookie right now in the NFL. So we need to bring in another guy. I know it's going to be another rookie, right? But I'm looking at like a lot of these man-to-man type of guys. And the reason why I'm looking at man-to-man is because I do like to run man coverage, and I like to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and really have more opportunities for interceptions. I feel like our zone coverage is probably the best defensive scheme for us, but I'm kind of trying to evolve that a little bit. I want us to be more like shutdown-y. I need some guys that can play some man-to-man and play it well, because a lot of times I've noticed that Darqueze Dennard gets beat, Drake Patrick gets beat a lot on man-to-man, and it kind of sucks that we can't run man-to-man when we want to, right? When you're going up against good quarterbacks and they're able to pick apart your defense when you're running zone all the time, it sucks. So we need to focus on some man-to-man guys. And I'm looking at a couple. I'm just going to scout the first couple points here to see like where everybody's at. I mean, when we look at Cody Barrett, obviously a B- is really good. I mean, he's going in the first round. He's an athletic freak. So I'm assuming that C+, being a rookie, is actually elite level at this point. So it's pretty encouraging to see that we've got some guys here that are C+ in man coverage. This guy right here, Rashad Harvey out of Southern Miss, he's got a C+ press and a C+ man. That's a pretty good combo, if I do say so. Montre Brazil, C+ man. Let's go to Clifton Simon, C+. Bradley Hatcher, interesting 4th rounder here. Might need to look at his combine numbers to see if he's any good, if he's fast enough to keep up with any of the receivers. Because if you got a B- man coverage but you can't keep up, if your speed's not high enough, it doesn't really matter at that point. Tremont Pollard, C+. Rutherford, Pearson Porter, B- out of Vanderbilt. Fisher Galloway, C+. Corey Hunter, B-. So there's some good guys here. That's going to be it, though, for my scouting for these corners. I just wanted to see like what the average was, because if a lot of these guys were like in the C or C-, then we knew that the draft class wasn't going to be very deep. But it looks like it's going to be pretty deep, so we'll have to focus on this a little bit later. Right outside linebacker, we could look at that. I know that middle linebacker's more of a concern for me. We'll skip some linebackers here for defensive tackles at this point. Looking at some guys. Rashawn Fowler, interesting little prospect here. 6'7". Well, little prospect. He's not little at all. B- tackle, B- pursuit. 6'7". He's a monster. Run stopper. That'd be nice to have as like a backup option right now behind Jonathan Hankins and Geno Atkins. Those guys are not getting any younger, and we need to start planning a little bit more for the future. I know that we got some pretty good pass rushers on the edges with Carlos Dunlap and Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson had a record-breaking season for the Bengals, but Carlos Dunlap isn't getting any younger either. So again, we need to start focusing on some defensive linemen. I know that you guys really like Sam Hubbard. You want to see him getting involved a little bit more. Jordan Willis is a pretty solid player as well, but impact players like possibly this guy, Rashawn Fowler, not too easy to find. So we gotta look at things like that. Josh Austin, 5'9". He's a hard worker, man. He's a hard worker. Looking at some speed rushers here. This is an interesting guy. Maxie Rhodes, B- finesse. Interesting. B- finesse as a defensive tackle. Might be a pretty good guy to get in there to replace Jonathan Hankins on some passing downs. Interesting. Power rushers. Joshua Hawkinson. C+ power move, C tackle, C pursuit, possibly going to go undrafted. Okay, so if he's here, if he's being valued at number 11, I don't want to know what's down here, guys. So let's focus on some third rounders here. Power rusher Gordon Perkins, C+, C+, C+. So maybe not the best guy to go after. Okay, so who won it? 27-24, the Saints win, guys. Gotta love it. Especially when the Chargers beat us. I gotta root for my Saints, right? If you guys aren't aware by now, I've been a Saints fan since I was like 10 years old, okay? Aaron Brooks days, Deuce McAllister days, Joe Horn, those types of players. Gotta love it. Okay, so $36.2 million to spend. And look at what AJ Green's asking for, right? 12.5. We can do that. That's very, very feasible, reasonable as well. Tyler Boyd, gotta bring Tyler Boyd back, guys. I really want him back. Nick Vigil, I feel like he has earned it. He's earned his keep, his stay. Colby Listenby, we didn't use him. We did not use Colby Listenby whatsoever this season. If you guys look at his numbers, might as well thought about cutting him. Yeah, 2018, like, didn't receive a single pass. Like, holy crap. Punt return 2018, we used him near the middle of the year. You know, it's just, Colby Listenby is not a guy that I'm thinking about bringing back here. Clayton Fejedelem, may want to bring him back just for depth. Ryan Hewitt was a pretty good fullback for us. Brandon Bell, probably not going to bring him back. Austin Reeder was a depth guy at center. I will end up bringing him back for sure. Cody Core, there's nothing really wrong with Cody Core. I mean, I'd rather probably have Core than Colby Listenby. Kavari Russell, probably not doing anything at 26, you know. I mean, especially when we're thinking about drafting a guy. I mean, he's on the cheap. He's probably going to be a little bit more cheaper of a player than a guy that we're going to draft. Clint Bowling, it's a lot of money for a left guard. We can probably see what we're going to get at left guard in the free agents, maybe, possibly. But Nick Vigil, we can bring Nick Vigil back too. So we're going to be spending some money here, but first things first, got to get AJ Green signed. All right, guys, so looking at AJ Green's contract that he's desiring, he's thinking of fair offers about $38.6 million for 3 years. I'm going to up it. I'm going to up it just to try to get him here. I think that he's important to take away one side of the field. John Ross has been amazing for us. I'm trying to get him involved a little bit more in the offense. Maybe he's pissed off that we didn't get him involved. I don't know. But let's see if he takes this. $42.5 million for 3 years, signing bonus $5 million, salary at 9.2. So, ouch. Wow. I'd like to play for a new team next year. Holy crap, dude. That's a lot of money we offered you, man. That's a ton of money we offered you. At 32 years old, we're forced with a tough decision, boys, because franchise tagging him was only going to get us for 1 year, $16.1 million. Oh, man. Guys, I feel like we have to do it. Honestly, I mean, John Ross is an 82 overall. Tyler Boyd is going to be about a 75, 70, it's about 78 with some confidence bonuses. It's just it's not good enough, you know, on a 13-3 football team going into the next season, the 2020 season. Got to do it. Got to do it. We got to franchise tag AJ Green, get him in here for one more season. Knocks us down to about 28.2. We're going to let Giovanni Bernard go. We're going to let him test free agency. And it just simply because I think it's Joe Mixon's job now. I really do. I think that the reins can officially be taken over. And, you know, it's just too much money to sign for a guy that's going to be a backup running back like Gio Bernard. I think we can go a little cheaper elsewhere. So Tyler Boyd, probably need to sign Mr. Tyler Boyd here. He's looking for 9.14. Let's get about 9.5. Should be good with 9.5, I think. 9.6, that's fine. Let's just do that real quick and see if he signs. Yep, so he is good. So Tyler Boyd is a Cincinnati Bengal. Nick Vigil, let's come on over and sign over with us yet again. 4.96, we upped you a little bit. Free agency is going to be better for you. Okay, then fine. Cody Core, think about getting Cody Core signed then. Maybe he might have to step up and get into a bigger role next year. So 3.4, that's fine. 70, yep, okay. So Cody Core is back. Matt Barkley, I mean, you've got Trace McSorley as a backup. I kind of like what he can do. I know for sure Matt Barkley's not going to be our starting quarterback next year. I'm gonna wait on Matt Barkley. I don't feel like we can. If we don't want to sign him right now, we don't have to sign him right now, right? It's not a priority because let's face it, he's probably going to be in the free agents left unsigned until like free agent period number 3 or number 4. So we can focus on that a little bit later. Ryan Hewitt, I might even wait on Ryan Hewitt. Maybe there might be better fullbacks out there too. We might be able to help him, actually help Joe Mixon run the football with our new quarterback that we're going to bring in. So Austin Reeder, backup center. We can re-sign Reeder. That's cool. Get Reeder in here to be a backup. Brandon Bell is a no-go. I know I mentioned that Ryan Hewitt's probably going to come back, but you know those blocking numbers are not too good in my opinion. So maybe we need to look at that. Clayton Fejedelem, might be able to sign him in free agency again. Just these are guys that we might need to want to test out in free agency a little bit versus just re-signing them right here and right now. So this kind of sucks though. Nick Vigil, not interested in signing. I feel like he earned it. We offered him what the fair offer would have been, and he just didn't bite, so he didn't take it. So that's going to be it, guys, for our re-signing. I feel like I really want to look and see who's available here to free agency stage number 1, since we do have 26.1 mil in signing bonus, so we can spend some money. We can sling around some money here to get some players. So let's take a look at the free agents list. Available cap room 10.2. All right, guys, so here's the list of free agents that are available for the 2020 season. Tyreek Hill at 93 overall. Melvin Gordon, 92. Deion Jones, a big-time need for us. His middle linebacker. You guys can see the depth chart right there. Tyrell Dodson, probably not ready to take that next step to become that middle linebacker that we need. We need a guy that's going to... Middle linebacker is like the spot. It's like the spot where your leader of the defense is. We need a guy that's going to be able to come in and step in. Derek Johnson did a great job for us. Definitely provided that veteran type of leadership. We went 13-3 last season, guys, so that's a big deal, right? I think we'll probably be taking a step backward. Hopefully not, but maybe we can win another division again. The Ravens really played over their heads, but yet again, like I said, we need a guy that's going to be able to come in here and play that middle linebacker spot. We need it to not be a revolving door, okay? So Deion Jones is a guy that I really like. I really would like to bring in. But look at that signing bonus, though. $16 million. He's going to be really tough to get, right? And the big thing with the signing bonus is the 26.1 mil. That's going to bring us down to about $10 million left in the signing bonus, which really means we're only going to be able to sign one more player with the available funds that we have. That available funds is equivalent to signing bonus, okay? It's got nothing to do with our cap room, so that's something we have to consider. And looking at our cap room, we only have 10.2, so even though I want Deion Jones to come here, I don't think it's going to be possible. When we look at a guy like Reggie Ragland, though, he's a pretty solid middle linebacker as well. Plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, had some pretty good seasons. 26 years old, still relatively young. He'd be able to step right in and do a job for us. We've also got Darren Lee, who'd be a lot cheaper than any of these guys, honestly, right? Dylan Cole's up there, but Deron Lee's pretty solid himself. We got Alec Ogletree, 28 years old. He's a nice player. He's really cheap. Actually, really, really cheap. We also look at Wesley Woodyard, a little bit older. That would be, yet again, another situation where it's kind of that revolving door, something that I'm really not interested in. But Darren Lee, young, run stopper, not asking for a whole lot of money. He might be a good guy to bring in here. I don't think he's going to be that leadership role type that like a Reggie Ragland or a Deion Jones would bring. But, I'm thinking I want to just like go a little bit cheaper here and go after Darren Lee. I know that I said that we really want that leadership type of guy, but we also got to consider the age factor, right, guys? I mean, Tyrell Dodson's a young guy, probably going to be a little bit better, I would assume, than Darren Lee. But I'm gonna approach Darren Lee and try to get him in here, and let's just do a nice little base offer. Look at that, he's from Ohio State. Let's do a basic offer, basically what he's asking for, and see how much that brings. 91 points. Okay, so we might be able to go a little bit cheaper than that. So if we go like, let's say, oh, that's way too much. We don't want to be doing that, guys. Let's go like 850. 850. See how many points that gets us. So 65. That gets us to 65 points. That actually hurt us quite a bit, right? So let's get up there to about 1.1. Call it good. That gives us to 72. I like that a little bit better, right? We're still in first place. We'll have to see and kind of feel out what the next week looks like. And then we'll go from there. But I do want to have you guys take a look at some other free agents that are up on the board, so mostly just for transparency reasons and letting you guys know exactly what my thought process is here going forward. So left outside linebacker, that's going to be Malik Jefferson this season, unless of course we draft another player. I think he's ready. You guys can see his overall there. That's 71. He's not making a whole lot of money, not really killing us with the cap space, and I just feel like we need to get him in. We need to give him a start and be our guy. I know that we've got some pretty nice names up here, like Stephon Anthony's up there, but he's asking for $8.6 million over 3 years, right? That's definitely a lot of money. Nick Vigil, we can kind of wait on Nick Vigil and kind of see if he's got any suitors. If not, we can approach him yet again, bring him back in. But I really want to get Malik Jefferson more involved in this defense and really get him going. He's 23 years old. It's about time. He's been sitting the bench for 2 years, kind of getting that spot start on the linebacking rotation. So I think that Malik Jefferson is probably ready to do some things for us. Logan Ryan in the slot, an 84 overall. Trey Waynes, 83. Aqib Talib would not be too bad of a sign. Only asking for $2.01 million in the available funds. He'd be pretty nice. He'd be a nice number 2 guy to go with William Jackson for sure. He's a nice little wily veteran there. Tavon Young, Byron Jones, Jalen Mills. He would be pretty cool to have too. Honestly, he'd be our number 2 right off the bat. I know that Darqueze Dennard is not playing too bad for us. He's definitely getting in on a lot of tackles, but Jalen Mills would be pretty solid. James Bradbury would be a pretty good sign as well. Xavier Howard, he'd be pretty nice to have, in my opinion. He's only asking for 2 seasons, though. That's kind of concerning. 6.6. I mean, we've got Patrick Robinson who wants 1 year. That's, if you multiply that by 2, that's pretty much what Xavier Howard is asking for. So corner is interesting, to say the least, but we'll have to just kind of wait and see how that pans out. Look at this. Eric Weddle is up there. So what's pretty funny about this, guys, is that we had a subscriber put in his custom guy, and his name's Trey Weddle, the brother of Eric Weddle, right? So pretty interesting that if we were going to be able to sign Eric Weddle to be kind of like that backup to Jesse Bates, that's kind of a lot of money, in my opinion, right? I mean, look at how much money Jesse Bates is making off that rookie contract, and then basically Eric Weddle wants half of that just to kind of be a backup. It might be diminishing returns at that point, so I'm not even going to consider that. We look at strong safety. Sean Williams is still doing pretty good for us, even at an 82. He had a fantastic season. We got Jaquan Johnson right behind him, so strong safety is not really a concern for me. Quarterback, the coveted position of quarterback, and you guys have been probably chomping at the bit here in this video to see what we're going to do about the quarterback position. And Andy Dalton, of course. We got Carson Wentz up here on the board. And looking at that bonus, I mean, you guys can, the writing's on the wall, guys. We don't have the money in order to do that. 26.1 compared to 46.8 signing bonus is what he's asking for. $148 million. We just don't have the money, guys. It's just not going to happen. Nick Foles, a lot of you guys in the comment section are probably looking at Nick Foles and being like, dude, go after Nick Foles. He won a freaking Super Bowl, right? But I would just tell you guys right here, if you go look at his statistics, and his statistics are what matters to me, because if Andy Dalton is screwing us over with some of the CPU like random dice rolls and some of the accurate throws, or some of the throws that he's been making, what is Nick Foles gonna do? Okay, like, look, just, you can even pause the video right here, take a look at Nick Foles' numbers, right? Short accuracy 86, deep accuracy 82, throw power is a 90, medium is an 81, right? So if we remember those numbers, 86, 82, 81, and then we go and we look at Andy Dalton. So remember, 86, 82, 81. If we look at Dalton's numbers here, we got 90, 81, 85. So actually, Andy Dalton is better in the short accuracy than Nick Foles is. So I'm just not sure if Nick Foles is like the right answer here. And I've actually taken a look at some of the other quarterbacks that are available, and honestly, Sam Bradford, Brissett, Savage, Glennon, Kaiser, it's not very good, guys. And the fact of the matter is that because Andy Dalton went 13-3 with this football team, we got to give him another shot. I hate to say it, but we got to give him another shot. And honestly, if we're able to find a trade out there that we can get like a backup quarterback in here, if we can draft somebody, honestly, I've taken a look in the draft, and I think that I like that option a little bit better than looking for a guy that we can possibly trade for and bring in. There's just a lot of goofy contracts out there with some guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, and honestly, I know that I'm trying to keep this thing relatively realistic as far as the moves are concerned, but as I've stated before, even in our Reds franchise and even in this Bengals franchise, is that my franchises are based on realism as it comes to the situations. Okay, the situations that we find ourselves in. What would be the right move to make if you're given the situation? Not, are the Bengals going to go 13-3 in 2019? No. Probably not, okay? But we got to do what we got to do, right? For this franchise and getting it done, getting it over with, right? And getting this thing moving, right? Moving in the right direction. So if we look at the roster right here, obviously we need a left guard. We need a right guard, right? Bo Benshaw is our future. We can probably move him to left guard. We can move whoever to right guard. It just basically we can flip and flop, right? Cordy Glenn is a guy that we got to get moved off of this roster, honestly. When we look at our salary situation, look at Cordy Glenn's numbers here. $13 million we're paying him this season, right, with a $24 million bonus. $52 million total contract. That was the total contract, right, throughout the life of it. He's not very good, guys. He's not very good. He's got 1 year left. Let's just see his statistics here and see just how many sacks that he gave up from that left tackle side. So pretty much, 14 sacks in 2018, 12 sacks in 2019. So a little bit better, but still not good. Still not good. Let's take a look at right tackle and see how Nate Solder did from that right-hand side. I think he was pretty much about the same. 24 sacks given up in 2018. A much better improvement in 2019 from where he played last season. I forgot where he played though, but those sacks from those tackle slots are not very good. When we look at, let's see, Billy Price, how many sacks did he give up, especially with those big time defensive tackles, right? Only 4 sacks, right? So those are good statistics. We'd like to see that. How many did Bo Benshaw give up? Probably not a lot. I'm going to say about maybe 7, maybe 8. Yeah, 7 to 8. Which is, for a rookie, and a guard who's not going to be the type of guy that's going to be really good at pass pro, he's more of a run blocker. Offensive line, as far as tackles go, we need to look at that, right? Cordy Glenn is obviously not going to be the answer long term, and he's eating up a ton of space. We probably need to look to trading him, maybe acquire somebody else, and I'm not sure who that's going to be yet. So we're going to be going through that process here in just a moment. So maybe a draft pick. We should be acquiring draft picks, if you guys want my honest opinion. Another player that I'm looking at moving, Carlos Dunlap. Now take a look at his numbers here, guys. 10 years in the NFL. He's obviously had his really good seasons, right, for Cincinnati, right? Just look at those statistics. Very, very good player, right? 10 sacks last year, 9 sacks in 2019. But the production, ever since we've taken control of him, has been a little bit down, right? 46, 49, 55, 66. He's kind of past his prime. He's starting to get into those rookie and first-year pro numbers, and this is the meat of his career, right? And now we're kind of getting into the tail end of it. 10-year pro, making a lot of money, guys. And let me just show you how much money he's actually making through the salaries section here real quick. And I'll show you guys exactly why I'm thinking about moving him here. So, left end, Carlos Dunlap, making 10.1 in 2021, 8.26 in 2020, right? So that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Look at Sam Hubbard, what he's making. A little bit cheaper, right? He's got 2 years left. Obviously, Carlos Dunlap, a lot of people would love to have Carlos Dunlap, but we've got a first-year pro, or a one-year pro, and actually 2-year pro heading into 2020, that's ready to take the next step, guys. And honestly, when we also look at the other side, Jonathan Hankins is actually playing defensive tackle for us, but Jordan Willis, 25 years old, 80 overall, right? This is a contract season. This sets up really nicely for Jordan Willis to kind of take over that spot at left end, and we can even like swap some of these guys out, like Sam Hubbard and Jordan Willis. We can swap those guys depending on what we want to do with those guys. I mean, look at, we got power rushing with Jordan Willis, and we got a speed rusher with Sam Hubbard. So maybe on passing downs we can get Hubbard going, and with Willis in there, he's going to basically be the guy on every down, right? Other than passing downs, like a 3rd and 10 or a 3rd and long, we can get Sam Hubbard in there, right? So obviously we got 2 young guys at the end spots that we really need to capitalize on with their contract situations and their age. Carlos Dunlap is a guy that we need to move. And there's a trade out there that I actually really, really like, and we're going to pull the trigger here. So Carlos Dunlap is going to be going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is an interesting trade here, guys. Just take a look at what we're looking at here, right? Look at Brandon Brooks, right? Brandon Brooks. But I'm actually looking at Lane Johnson. Looking at myself some Lane Johnson. Let's just see if they pull this trigger off on Lane Johnson. Let's just take a look, though, and see what his ratings are. He's very, very good right tackle. He's the number 2 right tackle in the league based on the analysis. Let's see what the contract situation is. Maybe we might be saving some money. I'm not sure. I doubt it, though. $21.8 million in total salary. He's got 2 years remaining, so that's very solid to me. We're making less. We're paying less money for Lane Johnson than we are Carlos Dunlap. So this is a trade that I'm thinking that we need to pull the trigger on, and then that's going to open up a move for Cordy Glenn if we're able to pull this off. So let's just see if they do it. I don't know if they'll do it. I doubt they'll do it. Maybe we have to sweeten the deal with some draft picks, but let's pull this off. The trade offer was accepted. This would never happen. This would never happen in real life, but okay, guys, I don't care if they would do it. I don't care. The CPU says, fine, we're going to do this. So we've acquired Lane Johnson. We've acquired Lane Johnson at right tackle as an 88 overall, okay? That pretty much signifies that Nate Solder is going to get moved over to left tackle. He's making $30 million, right? And when we look at left tackle, we got Cordy Glenn set 52 total, right? Bonus is 24, $13 million 2020. And then we've got Nate Solder's here for 2 more seasons, right? We're becoming more cost effective. So let's move Nate Solder over to left tackle, and we're going to move Cordy Glenn for possibly another player or some draft picks. I'll catch you guys in that screen. I'm going to go test some things out real quick and see what offers are going to be available. Okay, guys, so this is the deal that I'm going to offer to the Houston Texans. We're going to try to get Bernardo McKinney and a 3rd-round pick from the 2021 draft for Cordy Glenn, Devontae Harris, and a round 4 for this year's draft. So basically what I'm trying to do is that the Texans, they really want a left tackle, and that for whatever reason they're really liking Cordy Glenn. Now, offering this straight up, it doesn't work. Glenn for McKinney just doesn't work. Throwing in a second player for Bernardo McKinney doesn't seem to work. So it's getting close, but it just doesn't work for him, right? So even throwing in like a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick, that doesn't even work either, right? So I'm including a pretty solid corner and a 4th-round draft pick for this year in hopes that, because I don't want to do 3 for 1. I feel like that's going to be a lot to give up, guys. I really do. McKinney's got some years left on his contract, which is obviously very lucrative for any team that's going to acquire him. And if you take a look here, he's got 4 years remaining left on his contract, right? And it's pretty friendly. It's a pretty friendly contract. 5.8, 5.8, 5.8, and then it jumps to 9.34 in the final year. I just don't want to give up all of that for a middle linebacker. I know that that's part of the deal, though. You're going to get a linebacker with some stability, but I do want to acquire another draft pick here. Let's see if they end up taking this. Hopefully they do. So actually the trade got short a little bit. So let's go with Let's go with another pick. Let's do the 2021 fifth rounder this time. Let's see if they do that. So trade offer is accepted. So there you go, guys. Cordy Glenn, Devontae Harris, and a fourth rounder. We get a fifth rounder back for next season. Plus we get a middle linebacker and Bernardrick McKinney that's going to be with us for a long period of time. Now, here's the thing. If you guys remember, we just traded for Lane Johnson, and now we have Nate Solder on the other side. Cordy Glenn was kind of the odd man out, right? Now, look at what that did to our cap room. Our cap room's now at $13 million. So we effectively got our middle linebacker for a long period of time. We don't have to spend all of this money in order to do it, right? I still want to acquire Darren Lee, though. I really do. I think that we can kind of work both of those guys in. McKinney, Darren Lee, nice little young player. We got Tyrell Dodson to kind of fill in when he has to, right? So I feel like our linebacking core is going to be very, very good going into next year, especially when you look at like right outside. You got Burfict, Jefferson. Jefferson's going to be the left outside starter. Like I mentioned before, I still like Darren Lee. He can do some things on that run game. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty formidable linebacking core. I do like this. And he's cheap. Darren Lee is cheap, right? In the cap room, again, we just increased that. So if you guys look at the other middle linebackers that are available, right? Reggie Ragland getting 10.5 over 4 years. We get McKinney. A little bit better, right? A little bit better, just a little bit. He's making a little bit more money, right? $25 million over 6 years. We're going to get him for 4, though. That's part of the deal. But we pretty much offloaded that extra left tackle from Cordy Glenn over that away. So we look at Deion Jones. We weren't going to ever afford him. Dylan Cole really wasn't going to push it for us, really wasn't going to push it over the top. We need a guy like Bernardrick McKinney that's going to help us, really solidify that middle linebacker spot. I think it was a good deal. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below. Now we got some room, though. We got some room in cap to make a big-time splash. And the thing that I'm looking at, guys, is, again, I already discussed the quarterback thing. It doesn't look like we're gonna be able to move on from Andy Dalton. We're going to have to give him another shot. We'll draft a quarterback this season in the draft, probably one of you guys and your created players, and we'll see how that thing goes. Maybe we take a step back. Maybe Dalton loses his job. Maybe we just can't. We don't get it done the first round of the playoffs again if we end up making it, and then the time is pretty much going to be ready for that second-year pro quarterback that we drafted, right? So quarterback is just not going to be anything that we look at. Running back, Melvin Gordon obviously would be a huge get, but again, with Joe Mixon kind of taking that lead role, just doesn't seem to have a point there. Derrick Henry, 88, he would be a nice guy to have and really kind of utilize him in that power back role with Joe Mixon kind of doing that all-purpose thing. Derrick Henry can kind of be that guy to back him up, I guess. But again, it's just kind of diminishing returns. It's a lot of money. Derrick Henry probably deserves to be a starter at this point. Kenyon Drake, kind of the same deal. Chris Thompson, I feel like we could draft the guy. There's a lot of good running backs here in this draft. Not the draft, but free agency period. There's some good running backs. I just don't feel like spending that kind of money is going to be worth it. As far as a fullback goes, we need a fullback. We really need a fullback. And looking at some of these guys here, Ryan Hewitt, he was decent, right? He was decent for us, but we need a guy that's really good in the run game. That's really what I'm looking at. So when we look at Hewitt, his run block's a 55, right? It's a 55. It's not good. The pass block's a 59. I want to see what this guy Trey Madden has. I really want to see what he's got. 68 run block, 70 pass block, lead block is an 84. Obviously, he's a very good fullback. We're gonna want to get involved in that. We look at George Simonton. He's a little bit better than Ryan Hewitt is, but not by much. When we look at Patrick DeMarco, though, he's a pretty good fullback. 76 lead, 61 run, 68 pass. Again, that's not really something I'm looking at here. A lot of people don't even utilize the fullback anymore, but whenever Ryan Hewitt was out there, it was kind of kind of a struggle in my opinion. So when we look at Ricky Ortiz, 69 runs, 64 pass, lead blocks in 84. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Jay Prosch, I feel like he's a pretty good fullback. 79 lead block there. So 80 speed. He's got 80 speed. What did DeMarco have? This is the thing about stats. He always got 75 speed, so he's not really. Ryan Hewitt, how much speed did you have, sir? 76. But again, like guys, like those blocking numbers are just so bad. So I feel like any guy that we want to really go after here is going to be a lot better than what Hewitt was going to do. So I don't know. I don't want to spend too much money on a fullback for sure. Like, I mean, Trey Madden's asking for 1.5, right? Very, very good. Is it worth it? I mean, we do throw a lot of passes. 68 runs, 70 pass block. So let's actually go after Ricky Ortiz. I don't know why I just like his name. I like the ability that he shows. Right, he's a 3-year pro. He's got some time for some progression. 76 speed, not the fastest guy, but the lead blocking is an 84. 84 excel. Pass blocking, run blocking is by far better than what Ryan Hewitt was going to do. And plus, he's cheap. Right, he's very, very cheap, and I feel like we can easily be a good fit for him. So let's go after Ricky Ortiz and see what that does to our cap here. So right guard probably needs to get fixed up. We could go after Brandon Scherf. We do have the money to do so, right? I mean, I know we have Johnson here at 70 overall, but he's no Brandon Scherf, guys. Marshall Yanda would be a 1-year rental, and honestly, at the rate that our funds are going, I mean, that looks pretty friendly in my opinion. When we look at the differential here, you have a 6 overall differential, and as far as bonuses go, I mean, 2.4 for 1 year versus 16.9 for 6. That's over 5 times more in signing bonus every year. So obviously Brandon Scherf would be a long-term investment, but he's 28 years old. He's 28 years old. We have to keep that in mind. 6 years, he's going to be 34 years old, and we're going to be paying him all that money. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. So I'm going to actually go after Marshall Yanda, get him in here for 1 season, see how that goes, and we'll go with that. We'll go that route. So let's make this offer. Let's see if we're going to be in the top tier here, and we are. So we're beating the Seahawks by quite a big margin there. I think we should probably edit this offer. Maybe knock down the salary a little bit, get it to about 6.8. That seems like it's going to be good. So we're at an 81 now, right? We're still in a good spot. I feel like that's fair. Maybe the Seahawks and the Cardinals, they aren't going to go any further than that. Let's just stick with that, see if we get Yanda, and if we don't, obviously there's other options that we can consider. But when we look at the tackle spots, I mean, we got Lane Johnson, Solder. Obviously, we're gonna have to determine who's gonna play left tackle. Actually, I started talking about Isaiah Prince playing left tackle, but I keep forgetting that we have Lane Johnson and Nate Solder. So obviously, those 2 guys are gonna be your starters at tackle. It's just a matter of fact who's going to be the left tackle, who's going to be the right tackle. Personally, I feel like Lane Johnson needs to be the left tackle and block Andy Dalton's blind side. I feel like that's probably the best option. All right, guys, so 2 of our 3 negotiations signed. So we did get Darren Lee, and we got Ricky Ortiz. So we dropped down to 5th. So obviously with some players being signed here off of the league page, and this sucks. This really, really sucks, because now we're going to have to try and cover Tyreek Hill 2 times every year. So the Ravens really picking it up and getting Tyreek Hill. That's going to be huge for Lamar Jackson and Tyreek Hill. So again, that those 12-4 Ravens are going to be a thorn in our side here going forward, guys. So he actually signed for a little bit less. He got 16 mil right there. So Deion Jones signs with the Rams. Chris Jones to the Seahawks. Brandon Scherf going to the Jets. Malcolm Jenkins going to the Seahawks. So again, big time right there. DJ Swearinger. So the defense, man, a lot of big things going on here in the AFC North, guys. Big time. Vic Beasley Jr. Jeez, the Browns, they're making some moves, guys. We got to really see how we're going to attack this. Shaq Lawson going to the Rams. Robert Nkemdiche going to the Cardinals. Jonathan Jones. Jalen Richard. Yeah, so now we're starting to get into some little, some of the more depth type of signs. Chris Conley, we're going to have to worry about him too. So the Ravens offensively going hard here. So let's go ahead now and look at some of the other league action here. So we got Michael Brockers still available. Nobody's really talking to him. Derrick Henry, nobody's talking to him. Maybe they think he's making too much money. The Broncos are in the lead for Carson Wentz. Interesting. Nobody's going after Giovanni Bernard either. They don't like his age either, guys. 28 years old. You know, that's pretty much the sign of a aging type of running back, you know. I mean, look at the Bills too. I mean, they're going hard as well. They're going after Nelson Aguilar. Yeah, pretty good stuff there. Look at Emmanuel Sanders. If nobody signs Sanders, I mean, why wouldn't we want to bring him in either? Scout some college players real quick before we move on to the next phase. And when we look at the combine grades, guys, I want to look at you guys first, okay? So when we look at quarterback, we got Damian Adams at a 5.7. 5.7. Sorry this video is a little bit too long, guys, but I know you're enjoying it. He's got a 4.8. He's 6'2", and he's a scrambler, but he's got a 4.8 in the 40-yard dash. He's definitely dropping down to the fourth. Tim Brady got a 3.4 in the combine. This sets up hilariously with the Tom Brady narrative, guys. 3.4 in the combine. That means he's not very athletic at all. He ran a 5.5 at 6'5". 20-yard shuttle, broad jump, 3-cone. He is not athletic. He's a big dude, can throw the football hard and long, and honestly, that's probably one of the worst combines ever. Colin Hudson. Maybe I didn't give you guys enough speed. that might be an issue. We can upgrade it. We can always edit people. Look at Reese Ingram though. That vertical jump, nice, out of Michigan State. Throw power is an A. So a lot of these guys are the pocket type of quarterbacks at 6'8". Reese Ingram, this guy's a big dude. It makes sense that they're not going to be able to run too fast, guys. Jason Hall, 4.6. He can run a little bit, 5'3". All right, so these guys are super not athletic whatsoever. Adam Gonzalez had a 4.6. He's rated second for all of quarterbacks. And plus he got that A+ throw power, but he's not very accurate, which is something that's really going to hold him back, I feel like. So Colin Hudson with a 3.4. Again, big-time quarterback, 6'7". Can run a little bit better than the other guys, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting class to say the least. As far as running back goes, we might be able to look at some more running backs just because, you know, we do have an opening there for like a third string. Demetrius Pringley, pretty interesting back. Elusiveness of B+. He's running a 4.5 though. Not something I'm too interested in. I want the running backs that can run. You know, I want guys that are going to be able to like burn some defenders here. We got Leon Melton running a 4.5. He's going to be a first round pick. 4.4. Spencer Patterson. Probably not anything we're going to be available for, given our draft position, but always worth a scout. Always worth a scout. Stephen Manning running a 4.5. Those numbers, I don't know, not too bad. That's pretty much it for running backs, though, that I'm looking at. Wide receiver, we need to start looking at this big time. I know that we started looking at some guys like deep threat, Ray Sweezy, a C+. You know, I'm not too interested in that, even though he does run a 4.4. The catching thing kind of concerns me. If you're going to be going up for a deep ball, a lot of times those throws are contested with Andy Dalton, and if you're not going to be coming down with it, you know, C+ is really not good enough. Frederick Miller, spectacular catch. I like it. He's a possession type of guy. Red zone threat, 4.6. It's not too bad if you're a big of a guy as he is at 6'5". Spectacular catch. Yeah, I like it. Short route, B-. Could probably get him in the 5th is what it's saying to us. B catching for Raheem Parnell. So the short route, I like that though. 6.7. combine, 4.4. This guy's not too bad of a player. Kind of maybe a little bit of a bargain if we can kind of sneak him in to be like a 5th round selection. That would be pretty sweet. Let's just stop. Let's stop for wide receivers right now. Let's go to some offensive linemen, see what's available here. Michael Church, lead block. Yeah, this is pretty solid too. Michael Church might be a good pick. It might be a good 1st round pick. Because I know we got Bo Benshaw at left. Could be a right guard. We do probably need to replace Johnson. He's playing right guard right now, but maybe Michael Church, upon drafting, he'll be better than Johnson. I mean, look at the 3 cones. He's athletic. Yeah, he can move. He can move. Could you imagine that, guys? You got Church and Benshaw at the guard positions, 6'6", 330. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be a running football team for sure, and that might be the role. That might be the team identity going forward because Mixon's so young. You know, we can kind of move on from Andy Dalton a little bit, find our new quarterback, really put him in to that role. Maybe we might be more of a running team, especially with AJ Green gone, and our number 1 is looking like it's going to be John Ross, right? So, which doesn't make me too comfortable. So we need to focus on wide receiver as well, and even guard play. We can focus on some guard play and see how that pans out. But Will Salladay looks pretty solid himself. I mean, he can move a little bit. Not as good. The 20-yard shuffle, he's 7th. 3 cone is 3rd. So Church and Salladay, pretty solid. That's kind of funny, actually. Jason Gilberry, impact block. He can move a little bit too. Let's see what his numbers are. 1st in the 3 cone, 1st in the 20-yard, 4.9, so he's 6th. I kind of like the guards here in this draft, guys. Michael Church a little bit more athletic. Doesn't really matter, I guess. We'll just have to see who's available. So that's going to be it for scouting. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week. All right, guys, so taking a look at the free agents that have signed. Tyreek Hill, like you said, mentioned, going to the Baltimore Ravens. Gordon, going to the Bills, right? So pretty good signing there. Carson Wentz, going to the Broncos. And then we got Marshall Yanda with 99 points going to the Arizona Cardinals. So he just did not like the offer that we ended up offering him. So he's going to go over there. Eric Ebron going to the Cardinals as well. So they're really starting to capitalize on their playoff success and their playoff run they had last year. Kenyon Drake going to the Colts. So, we got some things that we can do now because that Marshall Yanda offer is kind of off the books now. So we got 12.2 in cap room, 34.9 million available in funds. So yeah, we can do some things here in this final week. Well, second to final week of this free agent period. So what I'm looking at though, guys, I'm not looking at Gio, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not looking at Derrick Henry. We want Joe Mixon to be the guy, right? So if anything, we're kind of looking for a third, maybe a 2nd stringer at running back, right? I still feel like I want to draft one because I do feel like I need to get a little bit, I don't want to say feel like I want to get a little bit younger, but I do like having young type of running backs. We've got Joe Mixon at 24, probably going to ask for a hefty contract here coming up next season. And, you need to start, I always like to have backup plans in case like we can't get certain guys, right? So when we look at Mark Walton, he's 23, so he's an age behind Joe Mixon. There's nothing wrong with drafting another running back this season. When I look at the guys that are available, like I said, I feel like I want to draft one. There's not really anything that stands out to me big time, right? I mean, I'm looking at like TJ Yeldon, asking for 8.95, over 5 years. That's kind of a lot of money to me to be like a 2nd stringer. Even when we're looking at Chris Thompson at 8.44, Shady McCoy at 4.4 for 2 years, 11 million. That's kind of that's some bang for your buck. But then again, he's not going to be the starter. It's kind of weird to me to bring in LaShawn McCoy, right? It just is. I'm looking for a guy. They're going to give Carlos Hyde $19 million. Holy crap. Holy crap. We need someone. I know Mixon can really lower the shoulder and get in, but we need like a extreme, like a absolute power guy, right? And we need some guy with some weight. Like Robert Kelly would be a nice guy to have, you know, an end zone type of guy when you really need it and Joe Mixon's not going to be able to get in. Robert Kelly would be kind of your guy, right? Looking at the rest of these guys here that are available, it just doesn't pop out to me. There's Zach Zenner. Oh God. And now we're starting to get down here where, you know, Mark Walton is going to be your backup, right? So I like the idea of going after Robert Kelly. Not asking for a whole lot of money, right? 11.8 for 4.23 in bonus. And that's pretty much going to be the cheapest for what we're looking at. I mean, like I said, you could go after Shady McCoy, but again, he's kind of the same thing as Joe Mixon is, right? Very shaky, very shifty, pretty quick, pretty fast. You know, you could probably consider Carlos Hyde kind of that power back too, but that's a lot of money again to be spending for a backup running back that's pretty close to Mark Walton, right? 6 years older, a lot of money. I feel like we still need to get a little bit younger, right? Which is big time for me because I feel like I want to draft one this year. Robert Kelly is a nice guy to have on the team. So let's offer him a little bit cheaper of a contract because nobody else is offering him anything, right? 89 points in first place. We can go a little bit cheaper though. Go a little bit cheaper. $80 points. Not bad. Not bad. See if we can't go a little bit cheaper than that. And here comes my dog Rayleigh. So okay, so 72 points. That's not bad. We'll see what that kind of works out. So we need another guy. I've mentioned it in a lot of videos past. We need to get another guy in here that's going to be the future AJ Green. And when I look at John Ross, I don't see that, right? If I look at Josh Doxson, I don't see that. You could possibly go after a Julian Edelman, but again, at 34 years old, that's kind of money that I really don't want to spend on that kind of player. I just don't. You look at Seth Roberts at 6'2". Martavis Bryant would be interesting, but he's got so many problems that, you know, I feel like Marvin Lewis would take a chance on a guy like that. Maybe he could turn his career around here. You know, for 3 years, he can play behind John Ross, but he fits our scheme. That'd be kind of a good pickup. But you know, I'm looking for a guy that's going to be the next AJ Green. And you know what? If he doesn't end up being that, then obviously our draft pick possibly could be. You know, Zay Jones isn't bad either. You know, he's 25. He's still young. You know, he can make some big plays. 76 overall right now. 85 catching traffic, 88 speeds in 90. You know, he's not super fast as a wide receiver. I would like him to be a little bit faster. Looking at Martavis Bryant, just to check him out. 93 speed, catching is an 86. So he's faster. That release is pretty nice. Spectacular catch is an 89. Ooh, I'm starting to lean towards Martavis, guys. I really am. That release for Zay Jones is 73, so even Zay Jones is not going to get open a whole lot. Looking at the money spent too, they're pretty similar in the money spent. I say let's go after Martavis Bryant. I just dogged him, but let's go after Martavis Bryant here. What did he do? What did he do last season? I want to see this. Can you see his player card here? I want to see what he did last year. And you can't see what he did last year. Huh. I'm thinking about it. I think we should do this. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's just see what this offer actually does to us as far as cap goes. Let's knock this down a little bit and see what happens. So 92 total points knocks us down to 4.42 in cap room. So it leaves us not a whole lot of wiggle room at all. But you know, he's going to end up being the third string wide receiver behind AJ Green and John Ross. And I feel like this is a nice little preliminary move, a move that, you know, is really planning for the future. Let's say Martavis Bryant has a good season, right? If that happens, AJ Green walks, you can duke it out between Ross and Martavis Bryant, who's going to be the number one wide receiver, right? And then, like I said, if we even draft a guy, you know, we'll just have to see. There's nothing wrong with being deep at a position, right? At 6'4", deep threat, he can be another guy that's really going to give Dalton another weapon, right? So I like this negotiation here with the guys that we're looking at, you know, Martavis Bryant and Rob Kelly. Let's see what happens here in the next week, because if everything clicks, we knocked the offseason out of the park, guys. We'll do some scouting in the final week once our points get bumped up a little bit. All right, guys, so it looks like we did get Martavis Bryant, so sweet, but we did not end up signing Rob Kelly. So I feel like we killed the free agency. I really do. We'll get into some scouting here real quick, but I feel like we did a great job. You know, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I mean, we got McKinney, we got Darren Lee, we got Malik Jefferson, so we got stability at middle linebacker. We're pretty young now at linebacker as well. On offense, we made some changes to wide receiver. You know, got Martavis Bryant in here. Tyler Boyd might be that number 4 type of guy. This really gives Andy Dalton some more weapons. And with that newfound offensive line here with Lane Johnson at left tackle, that's huge, guys. That's absolutely huge. It looks like we're going to be drafting a right guard. We're going to be drafting a backup quarterback and probably a third-round halfback, as well as possibly a future wide receiver to look forward to after AJ Green says bye-bye. Because, I mean, look, Martavis Bryant, Tyler Boyd, those types of guys could be your number 1, your future number 1. But John Ross is purely going to be a number 2, like I mentioned before. On defense, looks like we might need to focus on defensive tackle, getting a little younger there. Left end and right end, I feel like we're young. We're young now. We don't need to really worry about Sam Hubbard or Jordan Willis. And corner, I think we're doing pretty good at corner. Safety, we're fine with Jaquan Johnson and Sean Williams. I feel like we did a good job in this offseason. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other scouting section here and really hit this thing hard, guys, because at running back, we need to start looking at some more players here. Lehan Melton, we got Merciless right there. We pretty much scouted everything that we could possibly scout. Shaynard Spencer, 7th rounder, runs a 4.5. Not too interested in that, guys. As wide receivers go, you can still look at some of these guys. KJ Horton runs a 4.4, 3-cone, broad jump. I don't like the broad jump as the 20th rated wide receiver. Bench press, he's not very good there. Let's just see how many wide receivers are here and really get an idea of, yeah, so he's a little bit better in the broad jump than, he's about average in the broad jump. So that means his jumping is not too great, right? So as a deep threat, that means his spectacular catch is probably not going to be too good. Let's just go ahead and scout it. So the deep route, B+ release. He's an interesting player, but at 5'9", I'm not sure how you are much of a deep threat, right? I mean, I know you run 4.4, but I don't know. Trevante Ellis, pretty good player here. I mean, a lot of these red zone threats, they don't get a lot of love. You know, they're going to be dropping pretty far. So, you know, I do like the way that those guys are shaping up, though, for sure. Look at this guy, Pedro Gordon, 4.4. Broad jump, he's 7th. He's 7th, so he can go up and get it. He can go up and get it. 20-yard shuffle, not super agile. He's fast, but he's not super agile, right? And as a red zone threat at 6'4", I don't expect you to be, but that might be a good player to keep you guys' eyes out on right there. Angelo Herrera, B-, short route, Pearson Sample. We were talking about this guy before, 5th rounder, 6'5", broad jump 21st, 3-cone, bench press 4.7. I'm not too interested in 4.7. Morgan Victorian, Andrew Ness not going to get drafted. It looks like 4.4, 3-cone first. So this guy is agile. vertical jump, broad jump. Actually, the vertical jump is probably your spectacular catch too. It probably contributes quite a bit. Catching's a C+ though, but this guy seems like he's a pure athlete. You know, at 6 foot, might be worth a pick. As far as 5th round wide receivers, might need to take a shot on that. Because I don't think that there's really anything else to look at there. So we've already scouted everything we need to do here at right guard, at left guard as well. I'm not really focused on getting a depth guy at those positions. It's just really kind of pointless because, I mean, Johnson's a 70 overall. I'm basically, if I was going to draft a guard, he would have to come in and be ready to play right here and right now, and not do this this build up thing, right? Centers, I only scouted those because if you can play center, you know, sometimes you can move to guard. You know, that might be a late round option for us as Trent Paylor or Scott Pentale. But like I said, probably not going to focus on that. Defensive end, probably not going to focus on that either. Lamell Collins, 2nd round talent. He is a speed rusher. We do need to get a little bit younger at defensive tackle, so that's something that we need to possibly consider. Left outside linebacker, we've already got some players there. I don't really foresee us going that route. Middle linebacker, we could do some things at middle linebacker. We'll just have to see. McKinney is going to be here for 4 more seasons. Probably nothing wrong with drafting another middle linebacker to help out, but yeah, I don't see anything that we really need to kill in this draft, except possibly some corners. We need to up our cornerback game just a little bit. I'm really only looking at Cody Barrett though. Honestly, look at this guy, Deontay Barker. Holy crap! This guy's gonna be the first pick outside of that quarterback. Man-to-man coverage here. Press, zone. Gilbert Gatewood. I thought he was gonna be pretty good. Yeah, nothing really stands out right there, guys. There's gonna be a lot of corners available. It's just gonna have to be kind of a wait and see type of deal. I don't think that any of these quarterbacks up here in the 1st round are gonna be available to us. I mean, when we look at all positions, yeah, probably not gonna be available. Looks like it's gonna be like right here. This is probably where it's gonna start, right here. So we're looking at guard. We're looking at Michael Church, possibly Cody Barrett. We're looking at a lot of guys we really haven't even scouted yet. That sucks. Might look at Clinton Huber too. I mean, check this guy out. This guy's pretty special. 4'5", vertical, can jump. Spectacular catch is an A-. 6'6". He'd be a nice 1st round pick. But as far as 2nd round goes, I'm looking at a quarterback, guys, honestly, because you know you don't want to lose out on like a Tim Brady or a Reese Ingram. I don't want to lose out on you guys, but it'd be kind of fun to see where you guys go if we aren't able to pick you. But we do need to focus on quarterback. We need to focus on running back, a depth type of running back, possibly Kemi Martin, right? Would be pretty sweet. Let's see how Kemi Martin did. 4'6". Nice little stuff there. Colton Fritch ran a 4'4". Ooh. Interesting. Rudy James, 4'5". Say he's an elusive back. You know what? I didn't even show you guys your scouting numbers. You should be able to look at that. Desmond Dallas, he's definitely going to be a 1st round pick for sure. Gavin Daniels, there's his numbers, 4'5". Xavier Haney, 4'3". You said you were fast. Everything else though, decent. Winslow Davis, quarterback for Wisconsin. More going to be kind of like that wide receiver type, that Antoine Randall type. So definitely really good at the broad jump. Catching is very, very good. Runs a 4.4. He might be a solid pick for us as well. So Winslow Davis, watch out for him too. Let's look at, I don't feel like anybody made, actually, I think, yeah, didn't you guys, yeah, you guys made Giovanni Coaxum and John Bazio. So let's take a look at those numbers. Giovanni, 4'7", John Bazio ran a 4.8. Bazio seems like he's more athletic, though. He can do a little bit more. Left tackle, I don't feel like you guys made any tackles, right? So Derek Westbrook, 4.7. Those are some pretty solid numbers right there. Speed rusher. Like I said, we're pretty solid, though, at defensive end, though, because we do have Hubbard and Willis. But then again, there's not really anything wrong with having a stacked defensive line, honestly. 6'7", Brady O'Born. Pretty solid numbers as well. Right end, not really focused there. Let's see, who else did we look at? I think, wasn't Gordon Perkins? I think that was one of your guys. Josh Austin was one of your guys. There's numbers there. Josh Austin actually looks pretty solid, right? He's got a B tackle, B- pursuit. He's a pretty good player, but he's getting undervalued. Chad Delando, 4'6", 33.4 inches, right? He had a pretty good combine. Sean Stewart, one of the best players in this draft. Yeah, I want to see where this guy's going to get taken. he's pretty big time. Cole Sharp, 4'6", he's fast. He's a fast middle linebacker. He would be pretty good in pass pro for sure. Deshaun White out of James Madison, 4'4". So he's a freak. He's an absolute freak. So you get Cody Barrett's numbers. Probably one of the best players in this draft. 4'3", runs a 4'3" at corner, guys. I mean, this guy's going to be a stud. You guys called it. He's going to be an absolute stud. Colin Hopkins out of Army, looking like a good player as well. Trey Weddle, going to be kind of that depth type of role player. Let's look at Sonata. He runs a 4'4" at strong safety, so he's quick too. So you know what? With that run support, though, he's going to get in on some tackles. He's going to be a tackling machine. I feel like it's going to be Troy Polamalu all over again, right? Kickers. We didn't even look at any kickers, but Adam Waldeck. Randy Bullock. I'm not interested too much in the longevity of Randy Bullock, but Waldeck is an athlete running those 5-second 40 dashers. Can jump. He had the best combine out of all the kickers. So there you guys go. That is going to be the scouting finale, I believe, before we get into the NFL draft. And I'm going to go ahead and advance the week so you guys can see how everything pans out here. I do want to show you guys one thing, though, because Nelson Aguilar actually ended up signing with the Ravens. And I know that there's a couple Ravens fans here in this channel. So when we look at the team here, Lamar Jackson, okay, C.J. Anderson, Latavius Murray, and then they've got Tyreek Hill, Nelson Aguilar, Michael Crabtree, Chris Conley, okay? That is some pretty dang good wide receivers, okay? I'm actually afraid of their offense. Hayden Hurst, Mark Andrews, I'm afraid of their offense. And when we look at our roster and looking at the defense that we have, I guess I should have gone the other way, but looking at the defense that we have, I mean, we got Hubbard, Lawson, Hankins, Willis, Atkins. That's going to be Malik Jefferson. Got Darren Lee, Bernardic McKinney, Perfect, Jackson, Denard, Sheffield, Kirkpatrick, right? So it looks like to me that we're going to need another corner. It sucks to say that, but I think it's true. I think we need to really address corner. We got to go up. Basically, it's William Jackson against Tyreek Hill, and it's Darquez Denard against Nelson Aguilar, Kendall Sheffield against Chris Conley or Michael Crabtree. Those guys don't line up too well. Number 2, 3, and 4, they do not line up, guys. We need to look at maybe possibly fourth cornerback, because Drake Kirkpatrick looks like he's not really going to make it, guys. 87 speed, so he's starting to drop off a little bit as an 8-year pro. We might even need to think about trading away Drake Kirkpatrick during the draft for some more picks, right? So we'll see how that pans out, but let me know how you guys thought the free agency period went. It's a lot of talking. It's a long episode. Appreciate you guys coming by, giving a view. Leave a like if you like this thing. And are you excited about the draft coming up on Sunday? Sunday's upload will be the NFL draft. I'll catch you guys then. As always, Hoo day and peace.